Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Saturday, January 31st. It's the last day of the month, and we're here to break down the Saturday NHL card. Ian Cameron with you. Alex B. Smith will be here in just a moment, and we've got a big Saturday card, our final NHL card on a Saturday before the Olympic break. So enjoy it, because we're not going to have a big Saturday NHL slate like this until February 28th. I think that's the first Saturday after the Olympic break. So it's going to be pretty much a full month until we see this next gigantic Saturday NHL card to dive into. So definitely enjoy it. It's a big slate as usual here for this Saturday. We've got 14 games on tap here for this Saturday slate. We'll get to those in just a moment. First, quick recap and look back to the one and only game last night. Of course, we didn't have a show yesterday, but we did talk about Columbus, Chicago on Thursday's show, and we did post the Patreon card yesterday. Patreon members, $10 a month, patreon.com/iceguys. We still did give you guys a card for that one game last night. I did not bet a side or total. In retrospect, kind of wish I bet Columbus, but, minus 150 was the price. And then when Elvis Merzlikins was announced in net, I'm like, I don't know if I want to lay that kind of a price with the Blue Jackets with Elvis in net. But no problem for the Jackets. They still win. They still get the job done. 4-2 victory over Chicago. 7-1 now for the Blue Jackets under head coach Rick Bowness. And the gift that keeps on giving for us lately from a goal prop standpoint has been Charlie Coyle, or Charles, as they apparently are calling him. In the dressing room. Sean Monahan gave him the donkey hat for player of the game and called him Charles Coyle for the Columbus Blue Jackets. But he's been unbelievable. He scores again for them. Really, this has been a sustained run of really incredible production from Charlie Coyle since his 1,000th career game. He gets the hat trick last night. And again, if you had been on top of it and you saw that once he got the second goal last night, you bet the live hat trick prop, man. It's just amazing how many times, a lot of us have been doing that and reaping the benefits and reaping the profits from it. Just an incredible run of hat tricks in the NHL here in the month of January. And we saw another one last night from Charlie Coyle. You could have gotten that anywhere from, plus 600 to plus 850 with Charlie Coyle to score a hat trick last night. So great to be able to cash on that. Live during the game. And Columbus, like I said, nice 4-2 victory for them over the Chicago Blackhawks last night. It was funny for Chicago that for a change, the Blackhawks, I thought, played a pretty good third period. Third periods have been kind of an issue for them of late. I thought Columbus took it to them in the first period. Columbus, I thought, was a bit better than Chicago in the second period. But Chicago did put on a good push in the third period when they were trailing 3-2, but were unable to get the tying goal, and Columbus gets the job done. It's just continues to be impressive. Now, there's still a lot of work to do because I know Columbus has not gained the ground in the standings that they would have hoped for, considering the fact that it's a Columbus team that has won 7 of their last 8, but they definitely haven't made as much inroads moving up in the standings as I'm sure they would have liked. But nevertheless, they get themselves another win and keep this great run going. And they are back in action here tonight, Columbus, on the second night of a back-to-back as they take on the St. Louis Blues here tonight in St. Louis. So we'll preview that game in just a bit. All right, let's get into the Saturday card. Like I said, Alex will be here in just a few moments, but let's get into it. It's a 14-game slate. It is Los Angeles and Philadelphia. This game is going to start in about 20 minutes from now. This is a 12:30 Eastern puck drop in Philly. We've got the LA Kings minus 115 to minus 120 is what we're looking at here as road favorites. It's actually moved a little bit from the line that you see here on the screen. It was even money, but we have seen a little bit of LA money here in the last hour or so. Minus 115 to minus 120 is pretty much what we're seeing here as far as the latest with the Current line -115, -120 on LA. 5.5 the total in this game. The LA Kings, they've had a so-so road trip. So actually, they have won 2 of the 3 so far, but they beat Detroit, they beat St. Louis. They did lose in their last game to the red-hot Buffalo Sabres by a score of 4-1. We'll see how they fare here. I don't think this is the greatest spot for Los Angeles. I mean, you're talking about a West Coast team playing a very rare 12:30 Eastern. This is 9:30 a.m. Pacific locally that this game is starting back in LA on the West Coast. And normally I don't love trusting teams in that spot, much less a team that's been very flaky, very flighty all season, like the LA Kings. They do get some big news in the fact that Anze Kopitar is returning from injury here for this game, and that makes them pretty much healthy up front now. And pretty much, they're actually a fully healthy team. You look at them today in this game, there's nobody on the injury report anymore, blue liners or forwards, except for Alex Turcotte. So this is definitely as healthy a bunch as the Kings have been in quite some time. We'll see if that turns into a victory. Philadelphia has definitely not been playing well. They've been struggling defensively. They've had a real hard time keeping the puck out of the net. That has continued to be a problem for Philadelphia. But Dan Vladar is going to start here in this game. Predictably rusty, predictably not his sharpest in his return from that long absence against Columbus, where they lost to the Blue Jackets 5-3. But I definitely would expect Vladar to be a little bit steadier here in this game, considering the fact that he's got a game under his belt now. More than anything, you would think the focus for this Philadelphia team has to be, we got to stop with these turnovers in our own end. We've got to stop with the breakdowns defensively. We have to play much better structure. We have to start committing to better play in front of our goaltender. That has to be the focus, and I know that is something that Rick Tocchet has been preaching the last couple days since Philly's last game against Columbus. So this definitely feels like it could be a low and slow game to get the day started here with the Kings and the Flyers. 5.5 being the total here. I certainly think it could be a 3-1, 3-2 type of game. I do kind of like Philadelphia coming out of the gate with urgency here in this spot. And like I said, with LA playing such an early game, I could see them maybe being a step slow early. So I'm going to give a shot here with Philadelphia first goal, first period. I think it's a good spot to look in that direction. You can get that at around plus 140 for the Flyers first goal, first period. A little smaller on first period money line with Philadelphia here as well. Don't know if they win the game because you could see LA, maybe getting stronger as the game goes on, as they get their legs under them. But I think Philly does come out with a strong start here. They need it. They've got their best goalie in net now once again in Dan Vladar. So I like the Flyer looks early. I do lean to them full game as well, plus 100, but I like the first period looks more and that first goal as well. Looks like Alex is back ready with us here. I think the connection's kind of going in and out, so just beware of that.
I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we got you. It just kicked you itself.
I may not be on the whole show if this continues the way that it's going. I may not be on the whole show, but I have nothing on this game so far. Kings and Flyers, the early start. This was one of the games that I did pass.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Travis Konechny's been red hot, and he has had a habit of not just scoring. Yeah, we got you. Yep. Yep, we got you. Travis Konechny's been red hot for the Flyers, been scoring goals in bunches lately. And the first goal for the Philadelphia Flyers, he has been scoring multiple times of late. So if you're into that, and I know I've sprinkled on that, Travis Konechny to get the first Flyers goal as well. That's something you want to do as well. Not just the first goal. You want to have a piece of first Flyers goal too, just in case LA does get on the board first. So that is definitely something to look at here as far as props go in this game. Yeah, Alex wasn't kidding. The internet is being very, as Tim Brando would say, the iron unkind. Yeah, the internet unkind right now to Alex here. But two straight games with a goal for Konechny. And like I said, who I think's got good value here for the Flyers? This Russian kid, Nikita Grabenkin. Looks like he's going to be on the top line here with Dvorak and Konechny here for this game for the Philadelphia Flyers. So definitely some value here as far as his props are concerned if he's going to be up on that top line. And he did get on the board with a goal against Columbus in the last game. So Nikita Grabenkin here for Philadelphia. You can find him at a very solid plus 520, 550 to score a goal in this game. I think that's worth a look. Aaron liking Brandt Clark for LA assist prop, mentioning that here in the chat. All right, next game, it's the first of a doubleheader on ABC here this afternoon. We've got Colorado and Detroit. Colorado minus 140 road favorites, 6.5 the total in this game. Colorado looks like they're ready for the Olympic break. They haven't played great hockey. That they've had a couple of real ugly losses here. The last couple, the Ottawa game where they just were flat as can be. Montreal, obviously, they get lit up by the Montreal Canadiens. I'm not in a rush to lay $140 on the road with the Avs right now. I'm just not. But at the same time, do you want to fade them? You always worry that they wake up, they find it. Now, after 2 real bad losses in a row, they wake up, play well, but I'm not doing it. I got to see it before I believe it. This is more of a live game for me from a side perspective. I do want to see how Colorado comes out of the gate because certainly their last 2 starts have just not been good enough. They give up the first goal real early to Montreal. They come out of the gate very sluggish against Ottawa the game before that. So this is not exactly a team that I'm saying, yeah, I'm ready to trust them to have it dialed in, ready to go because they haven't looked like it. And I've said this before, you can really trace back Colorado's struggles and the downturn in their performance as a team since Devon Toews went out with injury. And to a lesser extent, Gabe Landeskog. They've missed him too, but I think especially Devon Toews, they've missed him because they have not been the same team without him, especially on the blue line. They're seeing them give up way more chances, not defending as well as a team. And even Cale Makar looks a little forlorn out on the ice sometimes without Devon Toews. So this probably pregame has to be Detroit lean for me. But like I said, I want to see how Colorado comes out because I don't want to be stuck with betting Detroit pregame. And here's Colorado pissed off and ambushing John Gibson and the Red Wings, and they get a couple goals early, and Detroit's got to play catch up. You know what I mean? Because that's possible. But I'm just not saying it's fully probable because we have seen repeated bad efforts, bad starts from Colorado that I'd rather see it before I believe it. I'm going to have a small sprinkle on the over by Fecta here, just small, because I do feel that there's going to be some pace to it. Colorado does have to start strong, but it's just small bets there, first period, full game over. Anything I bet from a side perspective will be live. Watch the first period begin and get a gauge of just how both teams come out of the gate. One thing, too, that's concerning about Detroit, they've had a great season, but now they've lost 2 in a row. They lose to a mediocre LA team. They lose to Washington and Charlie Lindgren in the last game. Detroit is going to hit a stumbling block at some point. They're going to hit a skid at some point. Is this the start of one developing for Detroit? Something to just keep in the back of your mind. We got Alex back again, for now, at least. But, Alex, what do you think here, Colorado, Detroit?
Yeah, this one I feel like it could be a bit of a close game. And like I said, this could be the start of a downturn for Detroit. We've seen the Avs lose a couple of games as well. I said this is the team that we knew they weren't going to go the entire year just playing at a 85% win clip. It was going to happen for both these teams at some point. I like the draw here in this spot. East versus West, kind of an early start, where Colorado's played a few more early start games, but this is more Detroit's territory. Having a day game. But I took a small shot with them. Plus 327 was the price that I got over it. I don't know if you can hear me. Plus 327 over at online.
We got you. Just cut out briefly, but we got the gist of that for sure. Draw, Alex liking that here with Colorado and Detroit. If it's, I think it is going to be Blackwood.
I got a bunch of shit going on right now. What the fuck?
Yeah. One of these days, the internet's being unkind here for our guy Alex right now. But like I said, we'll see if we can keep trying to check in at the moment with him as we continue along here. But yeah, as far as props for this game, you look at this situation right now. Let me just see here. Bring up Colorado to try. I think it is going to. Yeah, DeBrincat has scored in 3 straight games. That's worth knowing. Brock Nelson, we've talked about how good he's been. For Colorado has been absolutely outstanding. Victor Olofsson, there's still value on the top line for the Avalanche right now. Actually, no, he's been dropped to the Nelson, Big Val, Nichushkin line. Lehkonen with McKinnon and Natchez, so I think Lehkonen could be worth a look. Casper for Detroit on the top line. We've talked about JVR. He's been chipping in of late for the Detroit Red Wings. Of course, Patrick Kane becomes the all-time leading point getter in the NHL among American-born players in NHL history. the other night against Washington. So that was really great to see. Ross Colton, finally got on the board last game as well. So definitely a couple prop looks that are of interest here in this one. Yeah, as far as goaltenders, we do have Gibson confirmed. Blackwood, I think it will be Blackwood, but again, that is not yet been confirmed at the moment. All right, the second game for ABC this afternoon is the New York. I wish they probably want a mulligan on this one, that Rangers Penguins is their second game. But nevertheless, Pittsburgh minus 200 home favorites, 6 the total here, shaded to the over in this game. So I like first period over for sure. 9-1 run to the first period over for the Rangers in their last 10 games. It didn't hit the last game against the Islanders, but still 9 of the last 10 Ranger games have gone over in the first period. And the Ranger games have had a lot of, quick starts, fast starts, goals early. Pittsburgh, actually, believe it or not, we've seen a couple in a row with goals early. Look at Chicago-Pittsburgh. The last game for the Penguins is a perfect example of that. So I do like first period over, and I'm just going to keep it simple here. For me at least, the Rangers are unbackable. I don't think you could put a money line price out there at the moment that would entice me to bet the New York Rangers. I don't think so. I mean, they're just that big of a fucking mess right now. They're not. What are they doing well? They don't score consistently. Defensive game's been atrocious. You can't trust Jonathan Quick or Spencer Martin, whoever it is that's going to be in net for the New York Rangers today. And I spoke about this with our old pal, original Ice Guys member, Andrew McGinnis. I did his Saturday Every Game on the Board show yesterday. I said this about Quick with him, that Jonathan Quick has accomplished everything. One of the best goalies in the NHL, played for Team USA internationally, won multiple Stanley Cups. His head and his heart, do you really expect it to be in it for this sad sack, horrendous embarrassment of a team right now? It's very, very difficult to have your head focused and where it needs to be to stop the puck and your heart truly in it when your team is a hot, flaming piece of garbage around you. It's just difficult, and you've done everything. You've won everything already. Like, it's like, is Jonathan Quick really dialing in to, fix his recent struggles? I'm not so sure, considering the turmoil around him with this hockey team right now. So, like I said, it's and he hasn't been good. Spencer Martin obviously has been bounced around from one team to the next. We don't trust him to be great at the NHL level. So I like first period over, and I'm just going to keep it simple here. I like Pittsburgh team total over 3.5 here. Obviously minus 200. I'm not going to lay that price. You could go regulation, certainly. You could go puck line here on Pittsburgh as well. But I think the team total is going to hit, because I think chances are if the puck line hits, Pittsburgh's going to get to at least 4 goals. And most of the time when Pittsburgh wins, they do score 4 goals. So over 3.5 for me with the Penguins team total, over 3.5 minus 114. I do like that here in this game, along with that first period over. I lean full game over, but I like and I'll probably sprinkle on that, but I like the first period over quite a bit more than I like the full game, because we have seen these Ranger games, a lot of them have these starts where we get 2 goals out of the gate. As far as, Quick and Skinner are the projected goals. I do think we're going to see Skinner today for Pittsburgh, but again, it's not confirmed. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Stu Skinner get the nod for the Penguins. As far as props, Zibanejad has scored in back-to-back games. He's the one guy scoring consistently for the Rangers, and I know Jonathan's aware of this, that he's been scoring the first goal for the Rangers quite a bit. So that Ranger first goal look for Mika could be something to consider. I like Ben Kindle. Ben Kindle has scored it now in 2 straight games for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So he's starting to heat up right now. Shinikov's been great. Igor Shinikov scored in 3 of the last 5 games, 5 of the last 10. You're getting a nice price with him at plus 330. He's done a nice job offensively coming over to the Pittsburgh Penguins from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Connor Dewar, he scored last game. You're getting a huge price. And he has actually scored in 3 of the last 10 games, 2 of the last 5 for the Pittsburgh Penguins in a depth role. Apparently, too, one thing to keep in mind is that, let me just see here as far as updates. Yeah, I mean, Connor Dewar and Justin Brazeau. There we go. I was blanking on the next player I was going to mention. Yeah, Justin Brazeau. If he stays on the top line with Crosby and Raquel, didn't come through, obviously, against Chicago the other night, but still probably some good value there for Justin Brazeau props for the Pittsburgh Penguins. today. All right, Winnipeg, Florida. Next up, this is also an afternoon game, 4 p.m. Eastern. Florida minus 140. Home favorites, 5.5 the total, shaded to the over. Give me the draw here. Classic draw spot. They actually went to overtime when they played just recently, these two teams in Winnipeg, Panthers, Jets. That game went beyond regulation. East versus West, teams that are absolutely beyond desperate for points right now as they continue, both of them, to fall out of the playoff race. Both of them desperately in need of points. So I do like this draw, Winnipeg, Florida. I don't really want to back either side on the money line. I don't want to lay minus 140 with a Florida team that, has kind of, come back down again these last few games. It's a bad loss for them against St. Louis, and now the injuries are mounting again. They're already without Jones and Kulikov on the back end, and now Anton Lundell is day-to-day. Brad Marchand left the game against St. Louis. He's day-to-day for Florida. We'll have to see if they're in. They haven't been ruled out for this game, but that's definitely something you want to keep an eye on. But I don't want to lay a price like this with Florida. Sergei Bobrovsky in net, most likely. His numbers, though, have not been nearly as good either. It's just been the whole gamut for Florida. They haven't played as well. Defensively, they haven't been as good. Bobrovsky hasn't had the great season he's had the last couple in the Cup years. And, of course, they've been bit hard by the injury bug to the point where it's just damn hard to overcome it. Florida's just had all these issues with that. It's hard to trust Winnipeg, though. I backed them against New Jersey. I took a small shot with them and cashed that one because that was coming off the game where Scott Arniel read them the riot act for the Detroit game. Then I came back to them with a small bet against Tampa earlier this week, just because the Lightning had the outdoor game against Boston tomorrow on deck. Winnipeg had a good track record against Tampa Bay, and of course they didn't score in that game. They got shut out by the Tampa Bay Lightning. So it's difficult to trust Winnipeg as well. So that's why I'm sticking with the draw. I think you could twist my arm into an over here at 5.5. I mean, with the way both of these, especially Florida, they've given up 9 goals in their last 2 games. Both teams might be able to find the back of the net here. It has been confirmed that it's Connor Hellebuck for Winnipeg and net. So over and draw, I'm interested here in both of those for the Jets and the Panthers. Not a whole lot as far as props, although there is one that does stand. A.J. Greer, for as big an irritant as he is, he scored in 3 of the last 10 games for Florida and scored in their last game, and the price ain't bad, plus 750. He just finds himself in these goal-scoring positions lately, and he's starting to make the most of it. One player I do want to bring up for Florida with the injuries is that Evan Rodriguez. If Lundell is out again, Evan Rodriguez filled that spot with Reinhart and Verhaeghe. So Evan Rodriguez might have some value here. And keep an eye on this Latvian kid. He scored his first NHL goal a couple games ago. Sandis Vilmanis here for the Florida Panthers. Sandis Vilmanis. So he is someone that could be a value shot here for the Florida Panthers as far as prop goes. Velarde, he was reunited with the top line a game ago. Maybe Arniel sticks with that. Maybe you look toward him as far as a goal prop on the Winnipeg Jets side of the equation here in this one. All right, San Jose, Calgary. We've got minus 110 even money, both sides, 6.5 the total. Actually, 6 is the total here, shaded to the over. Most books have 6, only a couple have 6.5 here in this game. This to me is a very, very strong bounce back spot for the San Jose Sharks. I can't imagine they don't come into this game not pissed about how that game ended against Edmonton. I mean, they played such a good game for 2 periods. They really didn't give Edmonton much. The transition and the rush game, they really limited that in the first 2 periods. They played a nice road game defensively, and then all it takes sometimes with Edmonton and how they can explode is you give up that early third period goal. And when that happened and they made it 3-1 Edmonton early in the third, I'm like, this could still be trouble here for San Jose. And sure enough, they got through most of the third, still up 3-1, but then the 2 goals with the extra attacker for the Oilers, including the Bouchard game-tying goal. And then once it got to OT, it felt advantage Edmonton. And sure enough, Zach Hyman gets the overtime winner for a 4-3 win. That was frustrating because I had the money line on San Jose with the team total over, and I thought I was going to go 2-0. Instead, we only split, with those in the end. But after losing in that fashion, I expect a real strong effort here from San Jose against a Calgary team that has not won since Rasmus Anderson got traded to the Vegas Golden Knights. 0-5, Calgary in their last 5 games. Haven't won since that trade went down. Their offense is nowhere to be found. They've scored exactly 1 goal in 4 of those 5 losses. I think it's a great bounce-back situation here for this San Jose team. So I like San Jose first goal, first period. I like San Jose first period money line, and I like San Jose full game money line. We'll split it between those three on the Sharks. I think they bounce back and get back on track here against Calgary today. Calgary can't be trusted. Sharks will win this game in my mind. That's about it. Team total. A little on the over 3 team total as well with San Jose in this game, regardless of who's in net, because as we know, Wolf has not been what we expected this year. I think we'll see Nedeljkovic for San Jose in this game. And Nedeljkovic has actually gone a little bit ahead of Askarov as far as who's been playing better in net. Nedeljkovic has been better lately for the Sharks than Askarov. So I do expect Nedeljkovic. Wolf is projected for Calgary, but it's not confirmed. As far as props go in this game, let me just see here. The usual suspects, right? A lot of these situations with San Jose, we talk about the same group of players, but Colin Graff finally got on the board. Don't sleep on Adam Gaudette, the hockey god, as his social media nickname is. Adam Gaudette, he is someone to really keep an eye on here because he has suddenly had some success offensively. Back-to-back games with a goal for him coming into this matchup here against the Calgary Flames. So suddenly Adam Gaudette's had a little bit of success. So like I said, keep that in mind. Something to maybe take a shot with here, considering he has scored in back-to-back games for the San Jose Sharks. So those are a couple of looks here as far as this game goes when it's all said and done. Let me just see here. Anything else? Obviously Will Smith, Pavel Regenda. We have talked about Pavel Regenda here for the San Jose Sharks. He's been someone that stepped up, but primarily I like Colin Graff and Adam Gaudette. Those are the ones that I'm really going to stick to here in this game as far as goal props for the San Jose Sharks are concerned. And it's pretty amazing to see how much this team has struggled with the offensive side of it for the Calgary Flames. They have just had tons of issues, obviously, with the ability to put the puck in the net. It just hasn't been there for this team. So again, keep an eye on that, San Jose should be able to have a good bounce back effort here in this one. All right, next up, we've got Carolina and Washington. Carolina-Washington. We've got, let me just see here, bring up, oh, there we go, minus 155 is the current price here with the Carolina Hurricanes. Minus 155 road favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game. There's a good stat to Foley, 4-7 against Dustin Wolf. So there you go. And yeah, Adam Gaudette, great price. Adam Gaudette, great price, no question. Yeah, I don't mind Calgary team total under. I don't mind it. San Jose, before the collapse against Edmonton, they were playing better defensive hockey. They really were. And maybe they get back to that here. And again, they're playing a putrid offense in the Calgary Flames. This game, this is interesting because I've been not hearing things, but I get a weird sense this could be a Frederik Andersen start. I don't know that. Maybe it's not. Maybe they go to Brandon Bussey again, but I've got a weird feeling this could be Frederik Andersen in net for the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll see. Meanwhile, Washington's goaltending situation is a big fat question mark. They've got Logan Thompson day-to-day with an injury. That's why he didn't play against Detroit. Charlie Lindgren started. We all saw what happened to Charlie Lindgren. He got a lower body injury, the groin area, it looked like, in overtime, at the end of overtime against Detroit. And he is clearly compromised, clearly injured, but yet there's no goalie to replace him, available to replace him. So he has to gut through the shootout against the Detroit Red Wings and somehow wins it. The Capitals somehow won that shootout against Detroit. So give Lindgren credit for just finding a way to bounce through it or get through that clearly when he was injured. And we all saw the camera shot go into the dressing room after that win for Washington. They're all carrying Charlie Lindgren back to the dressing room following that shootout win over the Detroit Red Wings. So it could be Logan Thompson. It could be Lindgren. They're both day-to-day. They haven't been ruled out. Or they've called up Clay Stevenson from Hershey of the American Hockey League. You might even see him start here in this game. Because what if Thompson and Lindgren are both a no-go today? both are unable to start, then you got no choice. You got to throw Clay Stevenson in there if you're the Washington Capitals. By the way, if it is Clay Stevenson, he has a 2.57 goals against, 912 save percentage with Hershey in the American Hockey League before the call up. Yeah, Stevenson was the backup for the Wings game. Okay, so they did have him available, Clay Stevenson, but they didn't want to put him in there in a shootout situation. So really, this is Russian roulette with the goalies for Washington. It could be any of the three possibilities. It could be Stevenson, it could be Thompson. Maybe he's ready to go. Maybe not having him around against Detroit gets him going. And then, of course, it could still be Lindgren as well if Thompson's a no-go. But if Lindgren's able to play, they'll probably play him instead of Stevenson. So keep an eye on this. But what I do know in this game is that it's a terrible scheduling spot for Washington. This has been a brutal road trip. They haven't played great on it. They lost to Vancouver on that road trip, but they've been on the road for a very, very long time. It's been a long road trip, 6-game road trip, including a stopover after being on the West Coast. They stopped for the one game in Detroit. And now they're finally back home, and I think it's just it's asking a lot to me to expect Washington to be strong out of the gate. I like Carolina first goal, first period. It's plus 110 with the Hurricanes with that first goal, first period look. I like the first period puck line. Never mind the money line. I'll go for the value. Give me that -0.5, plus 150. Carolina first period puck line here in this game as well. Carolina team total over 3.5 even money. I like that as well. Even if it is Thompson or Lindgren, let's say they have one of those two goalies available, and let's say one of those two goalies starts. The Capitals have given up 4 goals or more in 5 of their last 7 games, even with those two guys. So, they have definitely had all kinds of issues, Washington keeping the puck out of the net. So even if it is one of their 2 regular goaltenders, I think there's still a pretty good chance Carolina can get you 4. Here in this game. So that Hurricanes team total over 3.5 is worth a look. Jonathan thinks it's going to be, or has heard that it's going to be Freddie Anderson. So it's probably going to turn into first period over is kind of rich right now. Let me see what the price is with that. But yeah, this could be just one of these 5-4, 6-5 type of games. I could really see it, especially if Freddie Anderson's going to play here for the Carolina Hurricanes. We know we can't trust him one bit. Actually, you know what? Over 1.5 minus 135 in the first period is reasonable. Yeah, I will take that pregame plus the over 6.5 full game. I will look at that as well. I mean, you have to with Freddie Anderson in that. He's just not someone that is any sort of reliable at this point in time for the Carolina Hurricanes, not with the season that he has had. All right, as far as props for this game, Carolina and Washington, Svechnikov scored in back-to-back games. One thing for Washington is we've got Protas, Wilson, Beauvillier in the top 6 right now for them. But Svechnikov has scored in back-to-back games for the Hurricanes, as I mentioned. Jackson, Blake, Stankoven, and Hall have been a pretty solid line since they've been put together for Rod Brind'Amour and the Canes. So any 3 of those players might be worth a shot here in this game as well. So definitely a couple of good looks there as far as props for this Canes and Caps game. All right, those are all afternoon games. The rest of the games that we will talk about will be night games here for this Saturday, starting with New Jersey and Ottawa. We've got Ottawa minus 170, home favorites. Total here, 5.5, 6, pretty much across the board. Ottawa, what a nice week they've had. Now, it may be too little too late because they're still tied with their provincial rival, Toronto, bringing up the rear right now in the Atlantic Division. But nevertheless, it's still at least a starting point for better things when you look at the fact that this is a Ottawa team that's been struggling to win games, struggling mostly not because their defense has been bad. I mean, they've given up like around 20 shots a game, the last few. So that's certainly been a bit of a problem and a bit of a concern for the Ottawa side, is that 20 shots were given up in some of these games and we're still losing, which speaks to how the goaltending has had issues. But the last couple games, they got a good start out of Mads Sogard when he started against Vegas last weekend. And we saw against Colorado, James Reimer, probably one of his better starts. Although, boy, Colorado did him a solid, not shooting the puck much, flat as can be. So while Reimer did play better, Colorado was awful in that game, so you have to take that performance with a grain of salt. The big news here for Ottawa is Linus Ullmark's back. Linus Ullmark is back. How do you gauge this? Because the player that's been out with it now, this has not been an injury absence. This has been a personal matter absence. This has been a leave from the team absence. This is not an injury that's kept him out all this time. But we have talked about this on this show. This angle has been very, very consistent. Goalie that's been out for a long period of time has been not very good at all in that first start. Let me run through all the goalies. Adin Hill, Mackenzie Blackwood. You go on, Dan Vladar against Columbus, Anthony Stolarz against Vegas. We go on and on and on with all these goaltenders that have struggled when they've been out for a while in that first game. Rusty, not sharp. We could see that here from Ullmark here. Now, this is not an injury like the other guys. With Stolarz, with Vladar, with Adin Hill, and with Mackenzie Blackwood, those were injury absences those goalies came back from. This isn't the same thing. This is a personal matter. This is a leave of absence, not an injury. But I don't trust Ullmark first game back, And let's be honest, Ullmark's had a pedestrian season. He hasn't been great. Hasn't been great as far as his numbers this year, even before his leave of absence. 2.95 goals against, 881 save percentage is definitely not great from Ullmark this season. So we'll see how he fares. But I'm going to go over by Fecta here because this has been certainly first period over, full game over. I mean, we've seen these games develop and devolve into high-scoring affairs with these goalies that have been off for a long period of time. Every single one of them. Go look at all those games, basically, whether it was Vladar, whether it was Hill, Stolarz, Blackwood. Those first games when they returned off a long absence, they all flew over the total. So I'm going to go for first period over, full game over here in this game. I do think Ottawa will play hard, though, because Ullmark has been through some things, obviously, and I don't trust Jersey. So give me the Ottawa team total as well. I think they'll score 4 goals. They are scoring right now, Ottawa. So I'd rather take that rather than the minus 170, especially when you don't know what you're going to get from Ullmark on the other side. He's the big, fat, giant wild card in this game. You don't know what you're going to get from Ullmark when he's been out, for as long as he has. So over 3.5 here with plus 115 here at Pinnacle. Is kind of what we're looking at with the Ottawa team total. Again, over 3.5 plus 115. That's a pretty good price on that when it's all said and done. So definitely liking that as far. Yeah, Kings just scored 1-0. So adios, Philadelphia. First goal, first period. Oh, well. Yeah, Kempe getting the goal for the LA Kings. So not the start Philly clearly wanted. As far as props for this game, let me just see what we've got with this particular game. Let me just see. Bratt scored in back-to-back games here for the New Jersey Devils. It looks like for Ottawa, Ridley Gregg on the second line right now. Claude Giroux's back on the top line, so maybe you look toward Claude Giroux for the Ottawa Senators. Fabian Zetterlund, former Devil, something to keep in mind here too. They've got the former player angle here going into this game. So like I said, Fabian Zetterlund could be someone to look at here for Ottawa. Jack Hughes, by the way, ruled out for the New Jersey Devils here. He injured, another injury for Jack Hughes. It's just never ending for this guy. Can't stay healthy all of a sudden. Lower body, it's day-to-day. They don't expect that this is going to linger into the Olympic break, but you never know, right? How many times have I seen day-to-day injuries turn into week-to-week? It's happened many times. So Dawson Mercer has got great value now. Dawson Mercer will be with Bratt and with Meyer on the top line. He's probably got some value. Cody Glass repair, Cody Glass replace, second line center. There's some value there. And we'll go back to Lenny and the Jets. No, not Lenny and the Jets, but Lenny Haminaho, the Finnish forward, is on the second line here for New Jersey. Didn't score last game, but he has made an impact offensively for the Devils. And as long as he's on the second line and the price is pretty good, I do think it's worth a bet here for his props. All right, Montreal, Buffalo, as we roll along here. Buffalo minus 130, home favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game. Obviously not really all that excited or interested in betting against the Buffalo Sabres right now. They just continue to roll on. What I'm impressed with for Buffalo is, they have a huge win against Toronto. The captain, Rasmus Dahlin, gets a hat trick. You got Montreal tonight. In between, you had that game against LA. If there was ever a game you're going to be flat and just lethargic and listless, that was the spot. Not for this Buffalo team. They still take care of business. They jump out to that 2-0 lead, and they end up, pretty much putting it on cruise control and winning by a score of 4-1 against the LA Kings in their last game. I mean, they're just rolling right now, the Buffalo Sabres at this point in time. We'll see if that can carry over here into this matchup tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. As expected, Alex Lyon is going to start for Buffalo. Now, Lindy Ruff's alternated goaltenders all season. He's gone from Luukkonen to Lyon, Lyon to Luukkonen, Lyon to Ellis, Ellis to Lyon, Ellis to Luukkonen, because he's had 3 goalies up with this team for a long time. But now that UPL is injured and out on the injured list for the Sabres, I don't think he wants to put Colton Ellis in a game of this importance, especially when you got a guy like Alex Lyon, who has been phenomenal here. What is it, 10 straight victories for Alex Lyon in net, franchise record of consecutive wins for the Buffalo Sabres. So, yeah, absolutely, he's been great in net. We'll see if he can continue that great run here. And on the other side, not surprisingly, Jakub Dobeš is going to start because he's had a nice week. He was in net for the Vegas win, the Colorado win, 2 wins against good teams in a row. Fowler's back in the AHL and kind of been up and down there. You're not going to trust Sam Montembeault in a game of this magnitude. So really, if you're Marty St. Louis, what choice do you have? You got to go with Dobeš. He's the best you have right now. It gives you your best chance to win at the moment. No question. So we'll see how this one goes. I definitely like first period over. I could see it slowing down a little bit. And we did see that the last time these teams played. That game in Montreal, the most recent head-to-head, Canadiens and Sabres. First period flew over the total, but the full game actually stayed under 6.5 in that 4-2 victory for Buffalo. It did slow down a little bit after that. So I definitely like the first period look to the over more than the full game. Full game, I'll wait for 5.5. If I get a 5.5, I'll jump on it. But I'm not rushing to bet it at 6.5, especially when Lyon's form has been very good in net of late. And we have seen Dobeš with a little bit of an uptick in his performance of late as well. So first period over for me is the only pregame bet. I'll look at a live over at 5.5, just like the last game with LA. If Buffalo falls, we never did see Buffalo fall behind. But in that last game against LA, I said if Buffalo falls behind, I'll bet them at plus money. That's what I'll do here. If Montreal gets the lead, I will bet Buffalo at plus money here in this game. Obviously, everyone's talking about goal Caulfield for the Montreal Canadiens. He's been red hot lately. He's been a terror on Saturday nights. And by the way, we got a great chart from Jonathan Davis regarding the success of Cole Caulfield and the goal-scoring prowess of Cole Caulfield on Saturdays this season. We put it up for our Patreon members on the page. It's a great chart. It's definitely worth looking at. So make sure you check that out. But, yeah, Cole Caulfield, he truly has been Mr. Saturday Night this season for the Habs. He scored a bunch of goals on Saturdays. And just in the last 2 Saturdays alone, he's really ramped up. 2 goals against Ottawa, January 17th on a Saturday night. A hat trick against Boston last Saturday on a Saturday night. They lost that game 4-3, but he got all 3 of their goals in that game. So he has been absolutely phenomenal. So this could be a night where you go not just a goal for Caulfield. Let's go for that over 1.5 goals. Let's go for maybe a little pregame sprinkle on that hat trick for Cole Caulfield here in this game. But certainly at the very least, the 2-goal prop is worth a look because he has now gone back-to-back Saturday nights where he has scored 2 goals for the Montreal Canadiens. So that's definitely something I'll have in pocket. Absolutely worth a shot. You know, the multi-goal prop for Caulfield to me definitely worth a shot here with him tonight. Here's a sneaky one. Jake Evans has suddenly scored back-to-back games for Montreal, and you can get 10-1 for him. Why not? We'll dabble in that just a little bit here as well. For Buffalo, Alex Tuch got the hat trick against Los Angeles. He's playing with Thompson and Benson. I think Benson might still be worth a look because of the value you're getting there with him. Jack Quinn. I think Jack Quinn's had a propensity to score against Buffalo. Let me look at the head-to-heads with these 2 teams. But I think Jack Quinn's done some damage against Montreal. Yes, he has. So keep an eye on that. Josh Doan has been a problem for the Montreal Canadiens as well. 50% of the games he's scored against the Habs in the past. On the Montreal side, we've had some success from the likes of Anderson, Kapanen, Demidov. They have all gotten on the board in the past against the Sabres. So those are some props to give consideration to here with Montreal and Buffalo. All right, next up, Columbus and St. Louis. We've got even money, pretty much minus 110 both sides, 6.5 the total here in this game. Give me the Blue Jackets. I don't even care they're on a back-to-back. This is a cheap price for the better team right now. That's really that simple. And a goalie I like, and Jet Greaves. They saved Jet Greaves for tonight against the St. Louis Blues, playing Elvis Merzlikins last night against Chicago. So I think it's a cheap price. Now, St. Louis does have the rest advantage. I understand that. And they did have a nice win against Florida, 5-4. But again, with these teams that are languishing near the bottom of the standings, the worst teams in the NHL, I don't trust them to win 2 in a row. I don't. Off a win, it's a go-to betting angle for me. It's that, we have definitely seen, holy shit. Adrian Kempe is already on hat-trick watch, it looks like, for LA. Yes, he scored again to just make it. This is not good for Philadelphia, man. Like, this is supposed to be a spot you're supposed to respond, and we know the Kings have been, mediocre to say the least, and this is definitely not the start Philadelphia wanted, and here they are down early to the Los Angeles Kings here in this game. So, yeah, we are looking at already in this game a hat-trick opportunity in this one. So, amazing stuff. Let me just get the confirmation on that here as I look at the screen in front of me. Holy shit, yeah, he did. He did get the second goal. Oh, my God, 3-0. What the fuck? Holy gosh. Philadelphia, woof. Oh, boy, wow. That's not good for the Philadelphia Flyers. God almighty, that's terrible, man. How do you let the Kings get 3 goals on your ass in the first 8 minutes when you're off 3 losses and you've had a couple days to think about it and fix things? Oh, my God, that's bad. Whew, God. Feel bad for Tocchet, man. This is worse than you could ever think here for the Philadelphia Flyers. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. So, yeah, we'll get in on Adrian Kempe here. That was Kuzmenko, by the way, it looks like, that got the third goal here for L.A. Yeah, there's a lot of shocked, stunned, almost like they've seen a ghost type of faces on that Philadelphia Flyer bench right now. So, yeah, this is a spot where you get this kind of a start. That's we're at the point now with Philadelphia. I don't know if they're going to win another game going into the Olympic break. You talk about a team that needs the Olympic break. Not that it's going to totally fix things, but wow, just amazing to see how poor of a start this has been for the Philadelphia Flyers in this game. But yeah, definitely the live goal, a hat trick prop with Kempe. We're going to get involved with that here. Oh, they're challenging this. Okay, they're challenging this. Okay, so this goal may come off the board. Usually if teams challenge for offside, they're pretty sure they're going to win that challenge. So it looks like, yeah, I think they are. Yeah, there it is. No goal. Yep. Back to 2-0. That's okay. We can still bet our hat trick prop for. Now, here's the thing with the hat trick prop. I'm going to sprinkle on it now. It's plus 250 with Kempe, but I don't like that price. I mean, I'm just going to dabble now. What if he gets it in the next 2 minutes? But I'm going to just put a small bet in now, and this is what I've been doing with these live hat trick bets. It's actually a good way to show everybody how I go about it. I put a small little dabble on it immediately after the player scores the second goal, but I want a better price. I'm greedy. I'm a greedy fucking bastard. Okay, so I'm going to look for a better price here with Adrian Kempe. I'm going to wait for a plus 400 or a plus 500 later in the game. Hope the game progresses long enough where he doesn't get that third goal, and then we're going to be able to get, obviously, a better price later in the game. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, we've sprinkled on Kempe here, plus 250 hat trick. Wait for it to become a better price. That's a good suggestion too by Alex. You could also go on FanDuel and get Kempe second period goal, third period goal. You could just bet him to score a goal in a particular period later in the game. That's also, a way to go about with your hat trick prop. It's an excellent suggestion, no question, because there's a good chance. Like if you were to bet second period right now for Kempe, it's plus 600. It's a way better price than the plus 250 that you're seeing with the live hat trick prop. It's a great suggestion. Yeah, second period goal for Kempe is like plus 600. Third period goal for Kempe, that's plus 250 right now because they figure, hey, empty net. I mean, how many times have we seen these hat tricks cash with the empty net goal? But yeah, that's another way to go about it too, is looking at the period by period goal props for Kempe, because you can bet him to score in the second period and in the third period as well. So like I said, different ways of going about it. You could just wait for the live hat trick, price to get better for Kempe, but a lot of different ways to go about it. All right, going back to this game, Columbus, St. Louis. Columbus minus 110. I like it. 7-1 under Bones. They've been great under Bones. They've been playing the right way. They've been scoring goals. They've been defending better. Even Elvis Merzlikins has given you better starts. Look at last night. He actually played well again. So I like Columbus here, minus 110 in this game. We have to bet Charlie Coyle again. I know he's off a hat trick last night. He's going to cool down eventually at some point, but he's been just on fuego here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Certainly going to go run it back here with Mr. Coyle here tonight in this game. He's still, as long as he's beyond bargain bin pricing, in that bargain bin price range to score a goal, you have to keep going to it. Charlie Coyle plus 310 at DraftKings. Now they've adjusted at least a little bit. Plus 310 DraftKings, plus 300 at BetMGM, but still got to bet it with Charlie Coyle. Not to mention, that whole line's been great. Coyle, Sillinger, and Olivier. They really do have some good chemistry, that trio, since Rick Bowness put them together. So there's no doubt about it. When you watch that line on the ice, you could tell that they have been dangerous. They've been threatening, and they have obviously been able to get on the score sheet. Another thing to factor in, too, is Jordan Binnington's in net for St. Louis. So they did not go to Joel Hofer, and we know Binnington 8-16, 3.59 goals against, 867 save percentage. Binnington is now on let me just count it up here, 5-start losing streak. 0-5 in his last 5 starts. He gave up the 7 to Chicago, 3 to Vegas in a loss, 5 to Edmonton in a loss, 3 to Dallas in a loss, 4 to Dallas in his last start, also a loss. So 5-start losing streak for Jordan Binnington. Time to end that streak. I agree. I don't even put any stock in that Charlie Coyle hasn't scored in 10 games against Jordan Binnington. Time to end the drought. He's that red hot right now for the Blue Jackets. So still like it. And like I said, I like Jackets here, money line in this game, even on the back-to-back. All right, next up, we continue along here. There we go. Toronto and Vancouver. Toronto minus 140 road favorites in this game. Total 6.5 across the board. There's no way I'm laying minus 140 with the Leafs right now. But if they're ever going to snap out of this funk, this is the team to do it against, the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks are terrible. They did win last game against Anaheim. Very shocking. Shutout win. But, again, bad team off a win. I have no interest. None. Zero. When I see a team in this kind of situation. But let's give them a little bit of credit for a little. And I say a little bit because, look, Anaheim was not anywhere close to their A game. But we do have to give the goalie that was in net Saturday, Nikita Tolopilo, a lot of credit. Still to be able to nab a shutout against the Anaheim Ducks. It's certainly he played solid. He did, and he showed you a little something. And it's at the point, if I'm Adam Foote, I consider giving him another start tonight. What do you got to lose? Your team's going nowhere anyway. He gave you a win. He gave you a shutout against a pretty good Anaheim team. Why not throw him back in there? What's Kevin Lankinen showed you? He's had a brutal season for the Vancouver Canucks. So you might as well just give Tolopilo another opportunity here in net if you're the Vancouver Canucks. And if it is him, maybe they do have a shot in this game. But I don't like backing teams that are near the bottom to win 2 in a row. There is zero chance I'm taking Toronto, obviously. There's no way I'm laying minus 140 on the road. They do have William Nylander back for whatever that's worth. How much is that going to help for a team that's just floundering right now and tumbling down the standings? But he will help, obviously. His return from injury, first game back, that will help the Leafs a little bit. Joseph Woll confirmed in net here for the Leafs tonight. Not a surprise because Anthony Stolarz had an opportunity to step up. He didn't. That goal that he gave up, that third goal that made it 3-1 Seattle, right through the 5-hole, you got to stop that. It's got a save you got to make. It was a backbreaker at the time in that Seattle game. You've got to be able to make that save if you're Stolarz, and it really hurt the team. And that giveaway by Michelli, I wouldn't be shocked if Michelli doesn't see the ice tonight or isn't in the game, is a healthy scratch. He should be healthy scratch. That was so bad a turnover in your own zone just after you had made it 3-2 against Seattle and gotten back into the game. What the hell are you doing, man? You know better than that. What a blind, stupid, dumb backhand pass, no look in your own end, gets picked off, turned over, and it ends up in the back of your net. It was a horrific giveaway. It was a horrific turnover. And you could see Craig Berube just losing it on the bench after that 4-2 goal thanks to Michelli's turnover. It was terrible. It was benchable. It was healthy scratch. It was health bomb worthy here for Matias Michelli. Health bomb is another slang for healthy scratch. He should be health bombed for that. That was horrible last night for Matias Michelli with that turnover against Seattle. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's out of the lineup, especially with Nylander coming back. Who are you taking out? You're probably taking out Matias Michelli. That or Cowan, but I don't think Cowan even has been nearly as much of a liability as Michelli has been. I like the first period over for sure in this game. Toronto's been a first period over machine. I think we're at 8 straight first period overs for the Toronto Maple Leafs going into this game tonight. So, like I said, it's definitely a team that's been trending that way as far as first period overs are concerned. So many of these Leaf games, they've been scored on early, and they've maybe gotten on the board early a couple of times as well. But yes, continues to be a major problem. Yeah, it's 6 straight overs for Toronto in the first period. 6 straight first period overs for the Leafs. 9-2 to the first period over in their last 11 games. So keep that. Yeah, it's Cowan that scratched. So they're giving Michelli an opportunity. See, that I don't like about Craig. And Craig's won a cup, and so, there's a lot of things I agree with him, but it feels like he punishes the youngsters for mistakes more than the veterans. Michelli has been around the block. He should be punished for that. He shouldn't be playing tonight. That was how bad that turnover was, but you're punishing Cowan instead. So I don't know if I agree with that, but nevertheless, looks like Michelli is still going to play tonight. Cowan's out. Benoit's out for the Leafs on the blue line to make room for Marshall Rafai, who they just called up from the Toronto Marlies. They think he's going to improve their defensive play in their own zone. We'll see about that, but I don't know if I'm totally convinced about that because this has been a collective issue with the defense. Riley, Carlo, McCabe's even struggled lately. Ekman Larson, I think, has actually not made too many mistakes. He's still been pretty good overall, but the whole blue line needs to play better. And Joe Woll has to play better. Last time we saw Joe Woll, it was one of the worst games he's played. He was not good in that Buffalo game. He wasn't, not by his standards. So, I like first period over. I like full game over. We'll go with both here in this game. Leafs Canucks. I think Toronto Vancouver do have a history of some higher scoring games. And the one thing to factor in here and keep in mind, especially those of you that like Vancouver, and I don't totally blame you if you want to take Vancouver because I can't lay minus 140 with Toronto. It's the fact that Vancouver has beaten Toronto every time here in Vancouver since 2019. I think it's been 6 or 7 years since the Leafs won in this building. This has been a house of horrors. Rogers Arena here in Vancouver for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have not won a game here in years. And keep in mind, those were some really good Leaf teams. Those were teams that made the playoffs, teams that were winning their division, and all of those Leafs teams came to Vancouver and lost. So this has been a real tough place to win for the Toronto Maple Leafs over the years. So if that fuels your argument for taking Vancouver, go for it. I'm just staying totally off the side here in this game and just looking at first period over, full game over. I like Nick Robertson too. Nick Robertson's a road goal-scoring dynamo. He scored last game against Seattle. He was their best forward too, Nick Robertson, against Seattle. I thought he was great. I thought of all the forwards in that game against the Kraken, he played great. He was the best on that ice. So I like Nick Robertson. Jonathan mentioned this is a shot in the dark, but Troy Stecher kind of got passed on by Vancouver. They cut bait with him, and now he's facing them here tonight as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Troy Stecher here with the 20-1 shot to find the back of the net for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Again, it is a shot in the dark. He doesn't score much at all, but 20-1, 17-1. In that range, depending on the book. So keep an eye on that. I don't think there's any more 20-1s, but 17-1 is still out there for Troy Stecher there. David Kampf, do you trust him? David Kampf against the Leafs. They kind of cut him loose. But plus 750 for David Kampf, another guy that just doesn't score very much. So no doubt. Yeah, everybody says nice things, Rich, about Troy Stecher. Everyone says great teammate, great guy. And a better defenseman than he gets credit for. It's actually kind of amazing that he's been bounced around as much as he has. I'm even shocked now. It's probably because of salary cap issues, but that Edmonton, couldn't find a way to keep Troy Stecher on their roster. Because I thought Troy Stecher played well for them at times in the run to the Stanley Cup final last year. But that's another story. But yeah, over by Fecta here for me again. Wool, and we'll have to wait and see on the goaltending. You would think you got to give Nikita Tolopilo another chance in net after the shutout against Anaheim, but that is not confirmed as of yet. So there you go. That's Toronto, Vancouver. We'll move along now. Next up, it is Nashville and the New York Islanders. We've got New York Islanders minus 125 home favorites, 5.5 the total in this game. The Islanders, it's been a nice week for them. 3-0, shutout over the Philadelphia Flyers, shutting them out by a score of 4-0. And then they follow it up with back-to-back wins against the New York Rangers. So it's been a nice 3-0 week here for the New York Islanders. But let's pump the brakes here. Suddenly, with this monstrosity and this absolute travesty that we're seeing from Philadelphia early this afternoon at home against LA, certainly takes some shine off that shutout win that the Islanders had against Philadelphia on Monday. And who did the Islanders beat in those next two games? Oh, only the woe-begotten New York Rangers back-to-back times who can't get out of their own way. So they've essentially beaten nobody this week, quite honestly. Well, I don't want to say no, but two teams that are in bad ways. Philly's just in a downward spiral. We're seeing it again so far today, and the Rangers are putrid, horrific. So those are the three wins against, the worst of the worst, and now you're feeling good and you've been pumped up now to believe that, hey, we're playing great hockey because you beat, a struggling Philadelphia team and an absolutely bottom feeder New York Rangers team. So I think this is going to be a tougher game for the Islanders. Now, Nashville's been losing, and look, that's not a good loss for Nashville against New Jersey the other night. You had a lead, you ended up not holding the lead, and you ended up losing in overtime 3-2. But Nashville's faced a very tough schedule. They had to play Boston in Boston, where they play well. They played red-hot Buffalo. They played Utah, who were playing great. Vegas, Colorado, Edmonton. They faced a lot of tough teams of late, the Predators. I think this is a sneaky spot to now go against the Islanders after fattening up against a bunch of cupcakes. Philly and 2 wins against the Rangers. Big deal. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo as far as I'm concerned. So give me Nashville here. Plus 105. Give me the draw. We've seen a lot of draw history between these two teams. It's also East versus West. Each of the last 2 meetings have gone past regulation. Not to mention each of the last 2 Nashville games have gone past regulation as well. So this is dog and draw for me. Nashville plus 105. Also the draw here in this game at I think it's around plus 320. The price here with the draw for the Predators and the Islanders. As far as props go, we've talked about certainly for the Islanders, Duclair a lot lately. As far as him picking up his game, no question. It looks like also for the Islanders, Heineman on the second line. Keep an eye on him as well. He's been obviously good for the Islanders throughout the course of the year. For the Nashville Predators, you've got Evangelista on the top line with O'Reilly and Forsberg, but most of the weight has been, Marchessault, Stamkos, Forsberg, O'Reilly. Those have been the guys, more of the veterans lately, that have been stepping up here for the Nashville Predators. So those would be the players I think to focus on from a prop standpoint. Again, dog and draw here for me. Predators, money line, and the draw. And again, back-to-back games decided in overtime or a shootout head-to-head between these two teams. And, of course, back-to-back overtime games for Nashville as well coming into this. So I definitely think this has overtime potential here with the Predators and the Islanders. All right, let's roll along. Dallas Stars and Utah Mammoth. We've got pretty much even money here, -110 both sides. The total here sitting at 5.5, 6, depending on where you look. This could go one of two ways for Utah. You're back. First of all, it's to me more of a negative spot for Utah because you're back home off a road trip. And I know it was just a 4-game road trip, but tough games, intense games, down to the wire games, Carolina, Florida, Tampa Bay, you had to really exhaust yourself, in those games. They were, intense games. And then the Carolina game was just a horrific loss. As bad as it gets for Utah to be up 4-2 late in regulation and not even get the game to overtime, not even get a point, and you lose 5-4. So you factor in, and the Nashville game to start that trip. So Nashville, Tampa, Florida, Carolina, back home, you're either steaming mad, you come out pissed off, and you take it early to Dallas, coming off that loss to Carolina, or you're flat, an emotional hangover, you're a little bit road weary and jet lagged from the trip, and a bunch of intense games, and it goes the other way, and you're not ready to go early in this game. I kind of think it's the latter, that they're not ready to go early in this game. I like Dallas first goal, first period in this game. I think it's a good first goal, first period spot here for the Dallas Stars. They're coming off a 5-4 shootout win against the Vegas Golden Knights. Utah, to me, could be vulnerable in that opening 20 minutes. Utah does have a good home record. They played well at Delta Center this year, 15-7-2. I don't think we get their best. I don't think we get their A game early. I think we see them sluggish a little bit out of the gate. So I like that Dallas first goal, first period. A little smaller on Dallas first period money line. I don't know if I'm going to bet full game money line, though. I could see this just being an early look for me. I could see Utah getting stronger as the game goes on, but maybe a little shaky out of the gate. It is confirmed Casey DeSmith is in net here for Dallas tonight. Karel Vejmelka projected for Utah. But keep in mind, I have no qualms about DeSmith. DeSmith has been real good this year. Outside of one start where I think he gave up 5, it was against San Jose. Other than that, he's been just really, really reliable, real consistent. 2 goals or less, 3 of his last 4 starts, 1 goal allowed to Columbus. Now, they lost that game, but they lost 1-0. He still played very well. 2 goals allowed in a 3-1 loss to Anaheim. Again, he played well, but they just didn't score. They didn't give him run support, so to speak. He gave up just 1 goal to Washington as well in a 4-1 win. So, let's give Casey DeSmith credit. He's played pretty well in a backup role here for the Dallas Stars. So I like Dallas early. I lean full game over 5.5 as well. My one concern is a lot of unders head-to-head between Dallas and Utah. But coming off the road trip, I could see a little sloppy play going into this game. Not to mention Utah has been a bit of an over team lately. The Mammoth come into this game on a 5-1 overrun in their last 6 games entering tonight. Dallas games have gone over back-to-back. So a little bit I'll have a tiny bet on the over here, 5.5. But like I said, the one concern is the games in Utah head-to-head, 2-1, 3-2, 2-1. None of those games sniffing the over, but it does feel like, as far as what we've seen with our own eyes, as far as current form, both of these teams are capable of finding the back of the net. Jamie Benn, 4 goals in 6 games against Utah and 2 against Vejmelka. So there you go. If you like the player versus goalie stats, there's a goal prop to keep in mind. Barrett Hayton has 3 goals in 4 games against DeSmith. Hintz has 4 and 5 against Vejmelka for Dallas. I'm going to go back to Mr. Putting on the Ritz, Justin Ritskovian, still playing with Johnston and Rantanen, which means there's still good value there. Dylan Guenther remains out for Utah, so they're not going to have him, it looks like, again. So Lawson Krause, Schmaltz, and Keller still the top line. The Lawson Krause prop is probably something that I'm interested in here for the Utah Mammoth. He's definitely someone that you're going to have to try to get a little more from offensively in the absence of Dylan Guenther. So I'm interested in his props there. All right, Minnesota, Edmonton. We've got Edmonton -120, home favorites, 6.5 the total here in this game. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what a comeback that was by Edmonton against San Jose. They stole one probably didn't deserve to win it, but you give them credit. They're never out of a game with what they can do with a McDavid and a Draisaitl, and when Evan Bouchard is, shooting the puck from the point, you're never out of a game, and they proved that. Down 3-0, they come back to beat San Jose 4-3 in overtime. We'll see how they fare here in this game against the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota with a 4-1 win against Calgary. They played decently. They played solid. They workmanlike, did enough to get the win. I wouldn't say they were impressive, but it shows you more about just how bad Calgary is, that Minnesota played a pedestrian game, and Minnesota was still able to win that game pretty comfortably by a score of 4-1. So this is definitely, for me, you know what it is. It's 15-2 is now the run for Minnesota to the over in their last 17 games. 15-2 over run in their last 17 games. 17-5 with Quinn Hughes to the over. I know the last game stayed under. Finally, we got an under with Minnesota against Calgary, but I blame Calgary for that. They can't put the puck in the ocean right now. That's the reason that game stayed under. By the way, that game still went over in the first period, and I bring that up because Minnesota's on a pretty strong first period overrun as well right now. Minnesota 10-1 to the first period over in their last 11 games, and 8 straight Minnesota games have gone over in the first period as well. So this is an over by Fecta for sure. Over 1.5 first period, over 6.5 full game. A lot of these games in Edmonton, but between the Wild and the Oilers, have also been higher scoring. I actually think I like the Wild a little bit in this spot as well. I mean, Edmonton off the comeback in a game that they easily could have lost. Minnesota has a reasonably solid track record here in Edmonton as well. You look at the recent meetings, they won 1-0 here last time. They have won 3 straight times here at Rogers Place in Edmonton. So the Wild have won each of the last 3 trips here to Edmonton. So I think at plus 100, I'm going to get involved with the Wild here. Wild team total, I think, is also in play. I don't trust this Edmonton combination of defense and goaltending, and I don't care who it is right now. Tristan Jarry has struggled. He's been fighting with his confidence. Connor Ingram hasn't been great the last couple starts. So I think Minnesota, the team total here, over 3. I can get a flat 3 with Minnesota team total at minus 125. I like that here in this one. And yeah, I think it's just one of these. We saw Washington, Edmonton. I think it was last Saturday. It was 6-5. It was just a pond hockey game. I think we're going to see that here tonight. 5-4 for somebody. I think the draw is worth a look too. Give me the draw as well, not just Minnesota. I think we have real overtime potential. And that Washington game last Saturday night went to overtime. 6-5 Edmonton in overtime. Minnesota, 3 of their last 4 have gone past regulation, and 5 of their last 10 have gone past regulation. Edmonton, 2 of the last 3 games on this current homestand have gone past regulation for them. So I think the draw is worth a look here too in this game. And I don't mind what you're saying there, Pie Guy. Alternative total over 8.5. This could be one of those games to take a shot with some of those alt overs. 7.5, 8.5. It feels like it could be one of these games where both teams get to 4. And if that happens, you're going to cash over 8.5. So it feels like it could be one of those games tonight between the Wild and the Oilers. As far as goal props here in this game tonight, there's certainly a few that stand out for me when it's all said and done. I still think there's good value with Hartman. Ryan Hartman on the top line here for the Minnesota Wild with Zuccarello and Kaprizov. Obviously, Matt Boldy and then Terry Edelman made sure we were fully aware of this, that he has done a lot of damage in the past against the Edmonton Oilers, which is true. He has definitely been a problem for the Edmonton Oilers. In the past. He has scored in 60% of the head-to-head games against Edmonton. Nobody has scored more on this current Minnesota Wild roster. Nobody has scored more against the Edmonton Oilers than Matt Boldy. So that definitely makes some sense. Zuccarello's had some success against the Oilers. Ryan Hartman, like I said, as well. I think Ryan Hartman's the one I like the most, plus 340. Zach Hyman and Connor McDavid are on 3-game goal-scoring streaks. A couple Oilers I'd consider, Podkolzin, Kapanen, maybe Matt Savoy as well. So those are some of the props I would look at. And to me, it could be a good prop game because we do think we'll see some goals early and often tonight in Edmonton between the Wild and the Oilers. All right, last game for this massive Saturday slate, Seattle, Vegas. We've got Vegas minus 190 home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. Vegas nearly coming back. Well, we like Dallas a lot in Vegas's last game. Vegas coming off the road trip, didn't expect them to be sharp, and it looked like they were going to go quietly into the night. They were down 4-1 at one point, but they ended up rallying all the way back, 3 goals in the third, tying it up, forcing overtime, but it was and a shootout rather, and the Dallas Stars, though, were able to survive, hang on, and get the victory over the Vegas Golden Knights. Now the second game home following that road trip. It feels like Vegas could get the job done, but I'm not laying minus 190 with them here in this game. And look, Seattle continues to I don't want to say they mystify me, because there's times where I say, how are they this good? How is their record this good? How are they in a wild card spot right now? But they find ways to win. Their offense has definitely picked things up. I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear that they have actually scored 3 goals or more in 6 of their last 7 games, the Seattle Kraken. So, they have definitely picked things up offensively of late. They're getting contributions from everyone. Boy, Jared McCann's been very good lately here for the Kraken, but they've been getting contributions from a variety of different sources. The depth is starting to come through. Matty Beniers is red hot suddenly, 3 straight games with a goal for him for Seattle. Shane Wright's chipped in. You're getting goals from the blue line like Brandon Montour last game. That's why you're scoring a bit more. And defensively, we know they're always capable, especially when Joey Decord is on his game and he plays well. And he did play well against Toronto in that victory 5-2 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll see who's in net here. We have been seeing Philip Grubauer get a lot more opportunities. It's been more of an alternation and an alternating goalies with Grubauer and Decord lately. Is this a Decord start? Or a Grubauer start? We'll have to wait and see on that, but it isn't confirmed yet. Aiden Hill is projected in net for Vegas, but that is also not yet confirmed. We'll have to see about Berkeley Catton. It was just a very bad accidental collision with Oliver Ekman-Larsson in the last game against Toronto, and you could tell he took head contact. He was evaluated for a concussion, stay today, but sometimes with those, head injuries and the threat of a concussion, that maybe Seattle, takes it with some precaution here and keeps him out of the lineup. Berkeley Catton here tonight for them. I like this first period over for sure. Seattle's been a first period over machine of late. Let me get the exact numbers. They had an undefeated first period over run, but then 2 in a row stayed under. But then it went back to a first period over, cashing for them against Toronto, and they are still 11-2 to the first period over in their last 13 games, the Seattle Kraken. And we know Vegas is no strangers to first period overs, especially at home. So at first period over, I like quite a bit. I lean to the full game over too, but that'll be a smaller bet. This is a tough game from a side perspective, because I could see Vegas at least getting 4 goals and going over, because I lean their team total over. But at the money line price we're seeing right now, I could only back the Kraken. I mean, I continue to see this Vegas team kind of overvalued right now and not playing at the level of a minus 190 favorite. I mean, this team is 1-5 in their last 6 games, Vegas. 1-5. That's it. They have had issues. 1-5 in their last 6 games, and that lone victory was against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who can't get out of their own way. And that was a night that was a little extra, meant a little more to Vegas, because it was Mitch Marner going back to Toronto. So like I said, it is absolutely not a price I'm interested in at minus 190 here with the Vegas Golden Knights, even if it is a bounce back spot after 3 straight losses and losing that first game of the homestand against Dallas. Just not the right price for me. And when you look at series history, Seattle and Vegas have played a lot of close games. 3 of the last 4 games decided by 1 goal. 3 of the last 6 meetings have gone past regulation between Seattle and Vegas. I'm seeing that. And not to mention Vegas, the Kings of overtime or shootout. They've gone past regulation 4 of their last 9 and in 2 straight games. So I think the draw is worth a shot here. At the very least, I think we have a chance maybe to see overtime or a shootout. But the bet I like the most here in this game by far is that first period over here with Kraken and Golden Knights. Yeah, and I do agree with our Adriana here in the chat. Draw is worth a shot. 2-0 it looks like for Colorado. See, that's why I was like, I didn't want to lay it with Colorado, but I said, what if I take Detroit and they finally wake up from their slumber here this afternoon, Colorado? And it looks like they might be doing that, this Colorado team. So there you go, 2-0. They lead Detroit in the first period there. As far as goal props for this game, Seattle and Vegas, Beniers is worth a shot. I think you have to keep rocking with it. We've been waiting for Matty Beniers to give us a run like this, to get rolling offensively. He has been so underwhelming offensively the last couple seasons, but now he's starting to feel it. Goals in 4 of the last 5, 5 of the last 10, 3 straight games with a goal. Jared McCann has goals in 2 straight games for Seattle as well. That's worth a look in this game. And I think for Vegas, too, Riley Smith, if he stays with Eichel and Stone, there's probably some good value on the top line with him. Pavel Dorofeyev or Skorofeyev, when he's putting the puck in the net like he has, that could be a prop worth looking at on the Vegas side here as well tonight. Great stuff. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. 720 live viewers. Amazing. I think that's one of our biggest number of viewers live for a Saturday show that I have seen. And we thank all of you for joining us. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Get to wizardsportspicks.com. Check out all the great handicappers on the website. It has been a great run in all sports for me since the site launched. #1 in the NFL and #1 in the NHL at wizardsportspicks.com. Just been a phenomenal season in both. We're having a profitable NBA season as well on the website. So check out the daily premium picks on the site. You can also get 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, and 1-year all sports, all access passes on the website. And again, check out the Beyond the Lines video series on the YouTube channel as well of Wizard Sports Picks. So check it all out at wizardsportspicks.com. And of course, check out patreon.com/Ice Guys, just $10 per month. Boy, has this been, we thank all of you that have signed up. It's been a great recent run of new signups, new memberships to the Patreon page. And I don't blame any of you for signing up. You should be, because you get goalie charts, you get totals charts, you get bonus content. We threw up the nice chart that Jonathan Davis was passed along about Cole Caulfield and his success on Saturdays on the Patreon page. So check all of that out. Plus, of course, we're going to have more Patreon exclusive live betcasts later in the season. We had 2 this past week. And of course, the creme de la creme of the Patreon page, the daily betting card posted each and every day. Sides, totals, player props posted each and every day on the Patreon page. So make sure you get to the Patreon page and sign up if you haven't already. Just $10 per month. Your membership goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping it going long term. So again, check it out. $10 per month at patreon.com/Ice Guys. And last but not least, the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. Make sure you check it out. We have 2 days left to get 25% off every item in the Ice Guys store. So 2 days left to take advantage of that. Today and Sunday, 25% off all gear and merch at the Ice Guys store. So make sure you get your order in and take advantage of that 25% offer at the Ice Guys store. That's at iceguys.myspreadshop.com. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Please for yourself with none of this Cannabis, where the kings and queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis. Check them out, royalcannabisshop.com, 20% off with promo code Ice Guys. All right, bargain bin special of the night. We didn't have a show yesterday, but there was a game, and we did put it up on the Patreon page for our Patreon members. Again, that's why you got to be signed up for $10 a month at patreon.com/iceguys. We put up the card for last night's one game, and if you saw the Patreon card, you joined me and Alex, who both had Charlie Coyle for the Columbus Blue Jackets as a bargain bin special of the night selection, anywhere from plus 330 to plus 370 was the price with Charlie Coyle last night for Columbus. So we will see if we can add to the bargain bin special win column here today. I'm going to you know what I'm going to start doing too? We've got people in the chat throwing out bargain bin selections that they have made. I'll start to highlight some of them moving forward on this segment. Like Aaron, Connor Brown, 2 assists, 15-1 for his bargain bin. So there you go. There's one that is definitely worth. That's a good price on that for sure. Shinikov for Pittsburgh for Rich at plus 300. So like I said, and a lot of the chat has good bargain bin selections as well. No question about that. Ross Colton, 4+ shots on goal, plus 400s for Terry Ray Vegas. Ross Colton, anytime goal, plus 500. Nick Alvento off the slump, off the schneid, taking him for a goal prop. So good stuff from our YouTube chat, our Ice Guys family members, some of their bargain bin special recommendations for this massive Saturday slate. All right, for me, with bargain bin special of the night, I'm going to give you 2. I'm going to give you. We got to take Charlie Coyle again, plus 310. We just can't stop at this point. He's been just absolutely on a tear. It's still just barely, but it is still bargain bin price range, plus 310 for Charlie Coyle for the Columbus Blue Jackets for my first bargain bin special of the night. My second bargain bin special of the night, and I like the way he's been playing. This one is also just barely bargain bin worthy, but Matty Beniers for the Seattle Kraken, plus 300. Really, really like the way he's played lately. He's been noticeable. He's been engaged. He's been dangerous. He's had chances, and now the puck is starting to go in for him. 3 straight games with a goal for Matty Beniers coming into this game tonight for the Seattle Kraken. And it's not like Vegas has been locking it down defensively. Far from it. The goals they gave up to Ottawa, the goals they gave up to Montreal, the goals they gave up to Dallas, first game home off the road trip. So Matty Beniers, I think, has a real chance to keep the consecutive game goal scoring streak going. So there you go. Those are my 2. Charlie Coyle, Columbus, plus 310. Matty Beniers, Seattle, plus 300 for my bargain bin specials of the night. Alex B. Smith, bargain bin specials. Goal Caulfield. We certainly hope he's goal Caulfield tonight. Cole Caulfield for the Montreal Canadiens. 2+ goals, plus 900. And Matt Boldy, Minnesota, first goal, 12-1, plus 1,200. Again, Matt Boldy has torched the Edmonton Oilers in the past, and we will see if that pattern continues tonight. All right, best bets to wrap up the show. There's only one game that I had locked in as best bet by far. Minnesota, Edmonton, over 6.5. I think it's a lot of goals tonight. 15-2 over run for the Wild. Don't look now. Edmonton's been trending over. I think 4 straight overs on this homestand now for the Edmonton Oilers. We saw on a Saturday night last week, Edmonton hosting Washington. That game was a track meet up and down the ice. I think we're going to see more of the same here tonight between these 2 teams. So the obvious choice. Sometimes the obvious choice is the right choice. Minnesota, Edmonton, over 6.5, minus 115 for my best bet for this Saturday. Great stuff there indeed. Best bet for Alex. Devils, first goal, first period, plus 165. So that's New Jersey to get on the board early against Ottawa. Again, Linus Ullmark is back, but do we expect him to be sharp early? Off for as long as he's been off? I wouldn't be so sure of that. So that's a nice little situational look there. Alex Lake in New Jersey, first goal, first period, plus 165 in that game. Robert Carlson, Carolina, Washington, over 6, minus 125. Good job by you to get the 6 with early 6.5 now the prevailing number. And Columbus -108, and I agree with that. I love the Jackets at that price here tonight from Aaron. That's just a cheap price. They're the better team. They've won 7 of their last 8. Oh, and they get Binnington in net, who has been struggling all season and in particular of late. So great stuff. Great show. I know Alex is frustrated. I could see it on his face, how fucking pissed and how fucking livid and angry and frustrated he was with the internet not working and not being able to be on the show because of it. But it's okay. It's all good. Like I said, it happens. Shit happens. There's nothing you can do about it sometimes. But looking forward to this Saturday card. We already have a couple games underway. Hit the like button on the way out. We can't thank all of you enough in the YouTube chat and all our Ice Guys family members for joining us each and every day on the only 7 days a week NHL betting show on the planet, the Ice Guys. We thank you very much for that. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, he was on with us a little bit at the start. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you tomorrow on Sunday, noon Eastern, for another edition of the Ice Guys.